Hello and welcome back to the Nittany Lions Sports Report. Bob Long here, and it's time for the Blitz, where we go to the whiteboard and break down one aspect of Penn State football. And after a tough loss to Ohio State, a preceding loss to Indiana, to me, there is one facet of the offense here that is the biggest delineation between good Penn State and great Ohio State, and that is the quarterback position. And we'll put the first thing out there. Justin Fields is as good of a quarterback as I've seen Ohio State have in a very long time. But we're talking about Penn State here, and there is an element of Sean Clifford not performing to expectations. That's part of that delta that I mentioned. So Sean Clifford, we talked last year at this very whiteboard about how the field was essentially broken up into segments, right? There's one segment up the middle, and then there's two segments in the flat. So here's your 1, your 2, your 3, and your 4. And at best, Sean Clifford, with his current footwork, vision, and pocket presence, could really only dial in on, say, 2 segments of the field at one time. And I would say not only has that remained the case, at times he's looked worse this year and evaluated less progressions and taken less time to identify down the field before getting rid of the football. Now, some of that is going to be due to pressure, right? Ohio State's always going to have a good defensive line, and Penn State's inability to create this pocket for Sean Clifford is going to lead to quicker decisions, poorer decisions, and less reads. However, there are still situations where you have Sean Clifford dropping back. Let's say Jahan Dotson here. He's looking right. And Ohio State, to their credit, has defensive backs where they can commit one-on-one coverage and be very, very comfortable with this defensive back's ability to cover Dotson. And once these guys get into the backfield here, Sean Clifford, once he needs to move his feet in the pocket, even if that's moving a little bit right, where you'd want the quarterback to then set and make the throw, it's more, hey, time to take off. Hey, time to take off here. The issue there is that does get a little predictable, and when you do have these good defensive backs that can go one-on-one against these Penn State wide receivers, that allows Ohio State to commit a number right here at the little middle linebacker position and organize a quarterback spy. It's essentially a zone look where this guy keeps his eyes in the backfield, trusts these defensive backs to cover the middle of the field, and he dials in on Clifford. And the minute that Clifford breaks down and takes off with the football, this defensive back, in this case a linebacker, can close in. And we saw that a lot on Saturday evening, and we saw that during the Indiana game as well. So Sean Clifford, at this point, I truly believe this comes down to footwork. It's about breaking down, getting into the right position as a quarterback, right? Moving the feet to keep yourself going without having happy feet and keeping your eyes down the field. It's moving with purpose, moving to extend the play, moving to be able to get the ball down the field and give your wide receivers more time to get open, not moving because you feel that the pocket is collapsing and, you know what, I got to bail and head down the field. We've had this discussion before, but Sean Clifford has not shown the progression needed, has not shown the progression that folks thought that he would have under Kirk Ciarrocca. Not to say that it's over, right? I mean, this guy, Sean Clifford, has up to 3 more years with this Penn State football program as the quarterback, given the rules as it pertains to eligibility and everybody getting a free year here. But, you know, if he wants to be the quarterback at Penn State for an extended period of time, these are things that he needs to get better at. And he's going to be the first one to tell you. Hard-nosed kid, tough kid. You love a kid like this to have the leadership to lead your program. But it's got to be these fundamentals in and around the pocket. I love that he's a running threat. Certainly, Penn State coaches love that he's a running threat. But what you want to have is, quite frankly, what you had on the Ohio State side of the football. Justin Fields, hell of an athlete. Much better running the football than Sean Clifford. Right? But Fields over here uses his body, uses his footwork, which is exquisite, by the way, even when there is a protection breakdown, to slide, eyes down the field, and make the throw. We didn't really see him run once on Saturday night. Can he do it? Yes. Is he one of the best runners in the country? Of course. Is that lying in wait for when they play a better team than Penn State? I think so. But he didn't need to do it. And the reason is because he's an excellent thrower of the football. He uses his legs and footwork to get down the field, to let his receivers down the field get open, and he makes great throws. And I'm not saying that Sean Clifford is going to be Justin Fields, has the ability to be Justin Fields, or that Penn State needs him to be Justin Fields in order to win the games they need to be successful. But what Sean Clifford needs to do is be a quarterback that is comfortable in the pocket, can move left and right and still look down the field, and can get through multiple progressions so that we're now no longer talking about the field being divided into 4 different segments. Now we're talking about the field being left side and right side, 1 and 2, and allowing these receivers to create mismatches in space, and for Sean Clifford to have the eyes up and the footwork to be able to recognize those and deliver them on the button. And you know what? If the guy's open along the right sideline, then he can make that throw. If he's not, we need Clifford to have the footwork, timing, and discipline to be able to get to this side of the field and find an open receiver over here. Because only then, against some great defenses, are you going to be able to pick them apart. And that is really what Penn State needs to see in order to get to an elite position versus, as we've said so many times before, where they are now, as James Franklin says, a great position. And that's the Blitz here tonight.